Alright, hello, welcome back, cunts, to Road to Kim Jung-gi. I'm Going Bald, i.e., my Drawing from Imagination series, where I just push myself and try to create something from my mind. I showed my friend this, and he gave me some good feedback regarding the fact I don't know, like he gave me good feedback on my previous ones and making it more spacious. He liked this one a lot, but he also said some retarded shit like plan before you draw. And like, nobody plans before they draw. Come on, especially from imagination. But what am I gonna do right now? I mean, he's right in the sense that I have a general plan, but also he doesn't draw whatsoever. So I tried explaining to him that it's extremely difficult to see the entire thing, right? And I also don't want to take too much time to just what's it called? Stare at the page, right? And Broken Draw actually came out with a video stating that drawing from imagination, like how Kim Jong Un and everybody does it, it's mainly sort of discovering as you go. What I'm doing right now is I'm just essentially making the entirety of this bottom the same sort of texture like this, right, to indicate that it is the bottom. Because right now the values are much lighter, and when the values are much lighter, the lighting gets skewed, right? So this is just good practice for my line work as well. This isn't going to be the most entertaining thing, so yes. Oh wait, begging for likes and subscribes. Yeah, do that shit. I don't have the heart to beg for that shit anymore. If you like my content, you'll like and subscribe. If you don't like my content, you'll like and subscribe. So either way, I'm winning. But do draw along in the background, because this channel is not very, this channel isn't just about me dicking around while I draw. I would like all of you to also make progress of your own, right? While you keep me on in the background, of course, because I need retention and your attention. But with that same shit that I always say being said, yeah, it was pretty. I had a pretty good weekend. I helped my friend, or last past week, helped my friend move in into his new place. The friend who I said was looking at my art, I slept over at his base. He just came to pick me up, and I watched Lord of the Rings trilogy in over Saturday and Sunday, which was pretty fucking sick. Like, actually, I've never seen it. I always knew about it. I knew vague things about the ring, and literally had no idea what it was about. I watched Fellowship of the Ring way back in 2020, but I was half asleep and I watched it at night, which is not the way to watch something as grand, and as something that deserves your attention as Lord of the Rings, right? Or Lord of the Ring. Is it Ring or Rings? I think it's Ring. But either way, yeah, with this piece, I just want to finish it up. I think I'm just going to leave it like this, to be honest. I think these are the final shapes and things I've created. Right now, it's just probably rendering for this hour, right? Because it's fine, but at the same time, I genuinely don't want to add anything else. Like, I actually don't want to add anything else. I think this is pretty decent, you know? Actually, I'm quite content with what I've done here. And I think this is also important because this way I get rid of my tendency to always want to add more details, right? Always want to add something or the other. And I need to practice right now on not being in that mindset, right? Just letting things breathe, as they say, right? So yeah, I'm just blackening this up, and then we'll move on to the fucker on the bike. This one. I don't know what I want to do here. Maybe I'll add a little bit of stuff here, maybe, right? Trying to figure out values and playing around with that. Obviously, I'm gonna at one point legitimately practice the fundamentals of values. Like draw a sphere. What's it called? Draw a sphere, and then the lighting around it. Right? You learn about the Terminator, rim light, all that shit. So obviously, at one point, I will be doing that. But for now, the whole point of what I'm doing right now, like especially this that you see, is just to render while thinking about form, right? That's what I'm doing right now. Because this is all technically what I've created, supposedly, is very crusty rock, right? Very jagged, sharp edges, right? Rocks are great in understanding form. Anything from nature is, in my opinion, great for understanding form because it really forces you to think irregularly as well, because nothing in nature is regular per se, right? Like, it has patterns, it has rules, from my understanding, but there's a sort of chaos about it, right? Like the whole unpredictable pattern, you know. Yeah, trees have a pattern. The branches branch out, like leaves are symmetrical, all that stuff. But at the same time, no two trees look exactly the same, right? There's always some slight deviation in the way they sway, the branches are placed, right? The weight of the trunk. It's the booty. It's the booty. It's the booty of nature, as they say. So yeah, just trying to think about that as I go along as well. And obviously, main thing is keeping my thumb and my fingers relaxed, and I think I've slowly been getting better at that. Thanks to just being cognizant of it. But yeah, obviously I don't know if everything I'm doing here is correct, right? Obviously I don't know, right? But actually, what I've really come to appreciate about art is that it's just one big unknown, right? Art, like any skill, but really with art, it genuinely feels as if, because again, we're trying to represent the world, right? That is a gargantuan task. That's a monumental task, to be honest. Trying to represent the world through just lines or brushstrokes, and that's why we break it down into, okay, well, we can simplify it if we stop thinking about lines, if we start thinking about form. Okay, now that we've spent X amount of years really understanding and thinking about it in terms of form, we can start thinking about it, or like, clusters of forms, manipulations of forms, whatever. We can start thinking about it in terms of, okay, how do we compose those forms, right? Let's observe life. Let's actually try to understand how things exist in real life. Okay, now we do that. Now we can, then now let's try creating our own compositions, right? Okay, but how does light hit those things? Blah, 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 blah. So it is all just a bunch of questions that need to be answered, and they can only be answered through, and I saw this really nice post on Arwad's Instagram, but it could only be answered through the conversation between our mind and our hand, right? The stronger that conversation, the stronger, the better the answer, right? The more clear the answer, i.e., just, the practice that you put into it. Yeah, art is amazing. I truly, my fucking memeing personality aside, and obviously I want money. Let's not forget, I 100% want money, but I really want, more than anything, this channel just to encourage people to draw, right? Do your daily drawing, whatever, 5 days a week drawing, right? Whatever it is, but do your consistent drawing. Do your drawing that you can do consistently. Focus on things that really grind your brain. Grind your brain? Fucking voice cracks. Focus on things that really grind your brain, but also allow yourself to have fun with the grinding, in the sense that, and again, I don't like the word grind, because yes, it is a lot of work. And me not liking the word grind doesn't mean I don't think you should put a lot of work in, but I feel as if nowadays grind is synonymous with not having fun. And I don't think that's true. I think grind can 100% be synonymous with having so much fun that you can't stop, right? And it comes from the mindset, which is enjoying it, right? This is all broken record shit, but it's the truth. It's literally the truth. And you learn to enjoy something by foregoing the result, right? By foregoing your expectations of what you believe you should be able to do, and focusing on what you can do, and asking yourself, okay, why is this what I can do? What's missing right now? It's like Mr. Meeseeks can do that shit. Ooh-wee. But yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful time drawing along with the nice little background music and my fucking monotonous ass voice just talking about growth mindset over and over and over, like I always do. Hey, it's good to hear the same shit over and over again, to be honest, because it's what reminds you, right? It's like when I was on a binge of self-improvement content, I was actually improving my life. I wasn't just listening to it, right? But always listening to that shit on my morning walk over and over and over and over just reminded me why I was doing it, how I should keep doing it, right? It's basically training your mind to think in a certain way. For me, it was training my mind to think in a way that benefited me, which is, to live a good, healthy life. and to be productive with my time. Okay. I don't know if this looks great, but let me rest my brain. I'll come back to that. I think it looks a bit better, right? Still doesn't really look like the bottom of this, right? Perspective got pretty fucked, but tis what it is. Tis what it is. But let me rest my brain now. But yeah, Antonio said this interesting thing on one of his Instagram posts, like the Artwad account, where he mentioned try to keep your composition, essentially have like half an inch of space around, right? You want your focal point to be like this. And I kind of obviously messed that up because this is coming out from the side. I don't know how applicable that is at all times, but I think that's still something that I could take into account. Right? Who knows? Could be helpful. But I have to start adding details, I think, because basically my goal is with this composition, if I can call it that, is I want the people to stand out comparatively to what they're on. I want the bikes to be like this should be the darkest, this should be the second darkest, this should be the third, like this weapon, and then the people should be the brightest. Right? So that's what I want to do. Yeah, man, drawing fast with a brush pen is very difficult. See? And obviously some things will get drawn over. That just comes with experience, I'd like to believe, right? Gotta keep the pen pressure in mind too. I don't know if these two things added much. I was doing it for the sake of this. But again, if my perspective is here, there you go. Something like that. This way, because I made this thick thinner, these two, this is now objectively, even though it's larger than these two, it's further away, right? I don't mind adding little things here and there to make it seem more legit. But I know my perspective is not perfect. But I think I have slowly gotten better with keeping my lines, or working on keeping my lines clean and smooth, whilst obviously also holding my pen really lightly. As you can see now, before I used to be like this. You see the tension where I used to hold it like this versus now. It's a slight difference, but my hand is so calm when I haven't gotten that pain. I still do the exercises here and there, like this thing, right? These are carpal tunnel exercises. Obviously, I don't have carpal tunnel, but if I was getting pain here, it's best to do the exercises which will limit that. But okay, so where did I want the light source is the question. I know I had an idea for the light source. I think I want it coming from here, right? So if anything, I can darken that. We can darken this because I don't know, light's coming from down there, I guess. So that doesn't make any sense then, this line, but if light's coming from there, I can definitely darken something like this. Right? Something like that. I'm not aiming for perfection at all, because there is no perfection here. I don't even know what the fuck this thing is. I don't know what I did here. But yeah, what the fuck did I do here? Something like that. Let's just do something like that. There you go. Kind of see the gun a bit better. I guess we could even do something like that. Right. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I guess if the light's coming from there, we should. I don't know what I tried to do here, but we could leave that for the time being. Again, I'm just focusing on rendering now, right? So I guess I'm just trying to make sense of everything, especially because I don't know lighting, but could be. There you go. Right. And maybe even see. So we all know this was a mess up. Was it really? Because then I can just do something like this. Right. And I'm trying to think. So this might look more messy than I intended it to. Definitely more messy than I intended it to, but it's okay. You live and you learn. I'll leave this as it is. Still figuring things out, I guess. It could have been better. Could have been much better. But let's see. Just trying to make shit up here. And I guess what I want is if it's coming over here, then the light source. Something like that. You know, maybe this is the bike. I've seen this type of rendering where they sort of break it up, right? Now, am I doing it perfectly? No way. No fucking way I'm doing it even any sort of justice. But I'm just trying to figure things out as I go. That probably made it worse, right? But I've set out on a specific journey that must be fulfilled, I guess. Right? But hey, we can keep this bright now, I think, because it's a decent contrast. Same with the... maybe this can just have a little bit of form indication, right? Like so. And this we can just add maybe some more form indications. Again, the lines are very meh, which I'm also trying to focus on, right? And maybe this can be blackened out. This is all blending together, right? So, because the light's coming from this side, maybe I can just have like that side, this right side here, same thing. right? Same thing here. It's coming from this side, so we'll now again, does it make sense? No, because I don't really know lighting at all. But I can sort of fake it to a degree, which is what I'm doing right now, right? Which is just a little bit of faking. I don't really understand it too well, but if I just want add more rendering to this thing, because this is currently what this is attached to, right? We want there to be a difference of sorts. Same thing here. This will help me with my my lines as well. Now I think this is starting to all look like it's part of the same thing. That's what I'm aiming for as well. So, and here, this gun, I guess, coming out has to have a bit more going for it in terms of making it seem a bit more cohesive, right? So I could do something like this. Now, is this going to work? Is this actually something good, quote unquote? Well, I think that actually cleared up a lot in terms of the connectivity, but oh, it's only been 20 minutes. Damn, I have a lot of time. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this or if I'll be able to drag this out for an hour. But I usually end up doing that, right? So rendering is fun, especially when I have one goal, which is right now clean line work to the best of my ability, and form indications. Right, that's literally all I'm trying to do right now. And this is good, because having to do these fast lines while still indicating the form is going to teach a very important skill, which is art. In case you weren't aware, I'm actually practicing art. Now see, while that muddies things up, I can just establish the form, but with, I guess, darker values, right? Shadows, maybe. I don't know. That didn't work too well. I don't know what this is, but something like that. Right. This thing doesn't make sense either. That's why we're just going to give it random form. See, now it's kind of making, it's a bit more clear just because I'm adding the fuck, I can't speak, but adding the same type of rendering to the bike. Now it's, I think, a bit more clear that this thing is one whole thing, this is a different thing, and this is a different thing, right? Just tiny little things here and there. Obviously I want to give this, because again, I don't know how the light is going to be on this, but I think just adding random little dark areas, right, following the form, while leaving others light, in terms of, okay, like the light maybe isn't hitting that, right? Maybe that's believable to an extent. Same thing here, right? So the light's hitting that, light's not really hitting this side maybe. Right, light's not hitting maybe this side. It's not maybe hitting this side. Right. And it's not hitting this side. Kind of just faking it, obviously, but maybe it has merit, right? yeah, I'm genuinely at a point now where way more often than not, I'm just enjoying this process of line, or just putting down lines, thinking about form, trying to think how it all makes sense. I mean, technically, I already did all the previous thinking for me when I created the bulk of this piece, but still, there's always thinking to be done, right? And it's when you make errors with that application that you know you're on the right path. Because errors create man, and man made art. And by that I mean like literally man made in the term, not as if man made art. Technically, man did make art, just like woman made art. I have to fucking backpedal so it doesn't sound controversial. You see what these pieces of shits have done to you? And in turn, me? Okay. After I do this one, I'm gonna. Yeah, okay, and let it die down a little bit. Just get lighter and lighter up. Okay. That's a huge fuck up there, but that's okay. That's completely okay. Because I know I'm gonna do a little bit of this as well. Something like that. Right. And even this gun, we can maybe add some lighting. Right. Cool, something like that. Obviously, she's not fucking holding it properly at all. We can even add some lighting to this area right here. I guess that's the visor. There you go. That should, I guess, all be bright. You know, inside of her arm, maybe. Even though we shouldn't be seeing that. Right? Same thing. Like, these things should be, because this is blocking this should be relatively dark. What else? I guess this is also relatively dark. Something like that? Let me make the entire thing dark so it's more obvious. And obviously I kind of want to make these lines a bit more distinct. But anyways, let me rest my brain. But yes, to clarify, men did not make art. Men built the roads, right? Which is a type of art. And women built society. Some might even refer to it as society, because you must eat your vegetables. It's very important. I say that as someone who's on carnivore. But I was fucking born and raised vegetarian because I'm Indian Brahmin, South Indian, right? Brahmin folk, us Brahmin folkers, we basically are vegetarian as vegan, except we can have milk, which is basically fucking vegetarian or vegan, yeah. Okay, so do I get this? Maybe something like that. I want to make this sheen a bit more obvious. There you go. Something like that. Right. Oh, I actually made the lighting here different. So we're gonna have to maybe adjust that. It's okay, I'll leave it. It's not really clear what that is anyways, but what was I doing? Oh yes, this. No, I gotta work on making these lines a lot thinner. Damn, I love how when I say that my lines are just so fucking. Look at that. Ooh, that's an error. That's an error. That's an error. That's an error. These are all fucking gargantuan errors. See, sometimes it may feel like, oh, I'm never gonna get better at these lines, right? But then what I do is I just look at other people. It's like, okay, well, they have 15 years more experience than me, and they use the same materials I'm using. I'm thinking of Peter Hahn right now, right? And for them, they can create for them, what's an average line for them that they can, this level of consistency they can do without thinking, right? So that's still something that there's always a higher height to reach, right? More peaks to be had. And it's a very nice, sweet reminder of that, hey, you can still improve much more than you believe. Because, yeah, rate improvement will slow down at a certain point, but it won't ever go away. As long as, again, your eye is more understanding, right? You can see more than you can do. Right now, my rate improvement is all focusing on line, perspective, form, and mannequins and all that stuff, right? But again, like composition, this is kind of probably not the most incredible composition, right? Probably a little bit shit, whatever. Because right now I know nothing about composition. So for me, I don't see much. But it exists. It will exist. See, now this may have been way too much rendering. Possibly. But maybe what I can do is kind of fall in on that design language, but very slightly indicate it here, right? So it's like, okay, like these cracks and whatever's do exist. This little tiling, seemingly the sort of tiled language pattern. But okay, it's just because there's more shadow here. Maybe maybe that's what's. Let's see if I just sort of add it here. This is all, of course, speculation, but it's something I have to try because I committed to whatever bullshit I did here, right? So we also want consistency in our design language. I bajib. Yeah, and we can just do a little bit of that here. See, so it's like, okay, maybe this exists, maybe, you know. But I'm gonna leave this for the time being. Obviously, we want it to be darker here, though, because it's the underside. Right, and then this should be lighter because the sun's on it. Now with these, maybe I can hopefully make them a bit more pronounced, right? Because that's something that is not really noticeable right now. My friend didn't notice it, my sister didn't notice it until I pointed it out. So that means there's not much to in the way of actually making this seem important. Okay. Again, doing quick, fast lines with a brush pen, very difficult. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. That just means right now I don't have the muscle memory, the motor skills to make it seem as legit. Let me like break out some of these. So maybe like to showcase that, oh, it's really being broken or shot and popped or whatever, right? There you go. That's, I guess, the bullet. Funny enough, we shouldn't be seeing the bullet. We should be seeing the bullet on the other side. So I'm going to draw it there. And this we can just turn into a tear. Yeah. Yeah, see? There you go. Now, bullet's been shot through. Give that some shadow as well. Right? Does that make sense? Who knows? Who knows? That's like what I say fucking for every little thing. Does that make sense? At least this bike is starting to look a bit more legit. Right? Gotta think about the perspective here. Let's see. Cool. And I gotta obviously do something similar there. But we have a pipe here, which we need to add some form indications to. Right? And maybe even some shadow. Something like that. Is that legit? Maybe, maybe not. But it has to be added just for shits, I guess. Right? It's the wheel. What did I do here? Then on the other side, something like that. Not perfect, but it will do. That will do, donkey. That will do. Okay, so what's happening here? Well, I can do something like this, right? Okay, cool. The back of the wheel looks like something now too. But something is missing here. I mean, this doesn't make sense, I know, but let's just add little, I guess, bolts, right? Maybe? Maybe not. What is this? What the fuck is this thing? I don't see, it's been so long, I don't remember what I drew anymore. But let's just make that a part of the bike. Seriously, what the fuck is this thing? I don't know. But if it's part of the bike, just add some more rendering on it. None of it makes sense, but none of it has to make sense. There you go. It doesn't have to be so different. I could just make the rendering on this slightly better. or slightly lighter, sorry. Something like that. So now it is officially, he's like on a bike-like thing, which has been all but distinguished or made distinct from the primary, I guess, focal point that I'm trying to focus on, which is this piece of shit, right? But, oh, it's only been 40 minutes, nice. And now it's about trying to make this rendered, this gun, but not as rendered. And I think that can be done just through spacing, right? If we just space it slightly. So now it's like, okay, this has detail, but see how it's not overwhelming rendering like the bike? It is just little additions. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? That's what happens when you drink tea. Right? To be like, oh, okay, this is something that should have some focus. At least this is what I'm thinking, right? It's not fucking 100% how it is, but maybe this will work, you know? And what's happening here? I guess I could try rendering it. Well, if that didn't work, let's just make it all black. Right. So, a little bit of rendering. Little bit. Again, to make a distinction between the main person on the bike, but also to not be over rendered, quote unquote, like not as rendered as this, right? Does it work? Who knows? Who knows if it works? But I think so. This is still bright enough, so it's like this more, this second. And then this guy is really, really light. So we could do the same thing with her bike, right? Where we just, again, maybe just add a little bit more detail to the bike itself, right? Sun's coming down this way, so I gotta figure out what's in shadow and what isn't. Still gotta have it make a little bit of sense, right? This is probably blocked, so I could do something like right, something like that. Same thing here. This doesn't have light on it, so we could just do you know? And this definitely doesn't have light, so we could technically just make this all black. But maybe there's a bit of refractory light. I think refractory light is light that reflects, so maybe for this it could just be dark but has technically a little bit of light reflecting off this onto that. And again, if the sun's coming this way, I think anything on this side should technically be pretty dark. So I could maybe have the same principle that I applied to that little wheel covering for the main guy's bike. I could apply that here. Of course, it's gonna look horrendous, but that's okay, because we can always outline how shit it looks. Somewhat. Something like that. I don't fucking know, bro. I genuinely don't know. Okay. We don't want to have too much going on, of course. So we'll keep all of this light, actually, and then we can just do something like this. forgot to do that here, so that kind of fucked it up, but it's important to indicate the plane changes. Right. Maybe some of this will have refractory light and others won't. Maybe this will be like very... Again, I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to lighting. I think it's that much is obvious. But at the very least, I can try to figure out balance. You know, I can try. Right, we can even give this a bit of darkness because the lighting's still going to come down there maybe. And we could do something like this, right? It's pretty fun to think about lighting, I'm not gonna lie. It's actually very fun. Same thing here, right? So we could do something like... Then if the sun's coming down like that, we could just do... Yeah, maybe it's blending together, maybe it's not. But it's just fun. Again, it's like coming down in this general direction, so... Right, maybe that's a bit lighter. This not so much. Right, I don't know what the fuck I did here, what I was going for, but I think I can do something like this, right? See, and this we can keep dark because it's obviously underneath. Yeah, using the brush pen, but using it to fill out large spaces with purely ink, difficult. Right, maybe this side can be dark because you don't really see that much. Right, okay, the sun's like shining down there, so maybe it's on this side instead. Right, same thing. Cool. And let's just make her like meep. What about the hair? Maybe the hair can just be something like this. Obviously the bottom of the neck maybe isn't really lit up that much. Okay, that looks pretty cool, I think. Right? Just putting a fucking... putting the lips there, just for shits. And you don't really see much light here, I don't think. But, yeah, okay. We should probably make the wheel a bit darker. Yeah, like that. Because we need to distinguish the front wheel from the back, right? Or like the front side. Okay, I think that's pretty decent. Right, let me rest my brain. How the fuck did this take half an hour? I mean, an hour almost. That's crazy. So, yeah, I guess this is the best I can do. I mean, I'm gonna do a little bit more rendering, but that's not bad. And I think that's a pretty decent drawing from imagination that I did. So, yeah, let me rest my brain. But yeah, definitely I've had a lot of fun with this. I'm still trying to figure out, well, I guess, like, I know we ended up just adding a sun for shits and giggles because I was trying to talk about ellipses or something, but that actually ended up becoming pretty legit, right? At least in terms of using the lighting. But I don't know, maybe there's a shadow there. Maybe there's a shadow like right here. Right. Technically there would be a shadow on this side of this person's face, but again, we're trying to keep it to a minimal. Right? Same thing. We'll keep very minimal form indications like that. Just to showcase that, hey, he exists in 3D, and we're just reinforcing that he does, in fact, get affected by lighting too. Right, to the same extent that this person does. I know it's still a bit unreadable, but I kind of want to add one of these here, but I'm trying to think if that would fuck with the flow. Probably would fuck with the flow. We'll leave it. For the time being, we'll leave it. Right. It is very difficult to do fast lines for sure. But I'm excited. This is my last drawing for imagination until the next block, right? And then later today I'll be able to go back to drawing guns. And my friend from the military gave me 2 guns that he said, like, these are 2 diverse, because I asked him, like, give me 2 diverse guns, right? So I can get the design language of those down. And he gave that to me, so that is going to be pretty sick. I'll just practice that. I think it was a C37 or something, and then something else. Basically, it was one with a barrel, and the fucking like 6 bullets that you can put into it. I want to actually find a reference that has... Yeah, I want to find a reference that has the parts labeled, so I can actually just draw the parts, you know? There you go. Although I did, probably just for consistency's sake, should do something like this. There you go, something like that. Right, probably fucking fix that ellipse though. There you go. Same with this, fix this ellipse. But this actually looks pretty decent, in my opinion. It's nothing incredible, but I think it looks pretty decent. Right? And hopefully, it isn't as muddied as it could have been. Because I'm trying to be a bit more intentional, right? I am trying to be a bit more intentional, so that's a big part of it. Let's see. Cool. Technically, I guess I could have had something like this, but it's not really necessary. So yes, this is the darkest, this is the second, this is technically, so we have like 1, 2, 3, and then these like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. What the fuck am I doing? 1, 2, 3, and then 4 in terms of the range, right? I guess like these 3 could be considered the same in terms of the range of values they provide. Again, this is all just me fucking trying to make shit up, figure it out, right? And perhaps we could get rid of some more light here, because although I don't know what's refracting to the bottom of this, I'm sure something is. It's never ever purely just darkness at overall, but yeah, this was actually really fun. I ended up not liking this in the beginning because I set a lot of expectations, but now it's because I'm kind of figuring things out, playing around, and just enjoying the project. It's actually really, really nice. And obviously trying to keep that horizon line in mind as much as I can, but okay, we can cover that up like so. Okay, what else can we do? I should stop murmuring. Well, it's been almost an hour. Now I think I can just do really small things like, okay, that's coming down here. We could give this that shadow, right? Same with, okay, like that, right? So yeah, the sun's on her to a degree. It's like fully on this, right? I love how I forgot to draw the other one, the other side mirror. That's funny, but that's another thing. Thinking ahead is a big part of art too, right? So we could do something like this. I don't know why it looks like he's wearing a bib, but I guess he is. It's a bib with mechanical shit on it, I guess. But right, little things I guess I could do. Right, to showcase that he has more light and stuff on him, or more shadows, like he's being affected by the light, which is of course important. But oh well, since this is technically being blocked, I guess I should add a little bit of form indication here. Hold on, I completely fucked it up. But whatever. Well, again, this doesn't really have any light on it, so I guess we could. Cool. Same thing here. Even though that's technically different, but whatever. Okay, what the hell is this? Like, what's coming up here? So we got the pelvis. Ah, yes. Okay, it's the pelvis right there. So we could just add a little form indication for that. So at least we know. Something like that. I don't know. Just don't want to go too off on it, but I do want to indicate a little bit, right? Just a little. Okay, I think this is good. I think it's best to leave it. I'm just trying to look if there's anything else, maybe tiny little thing I can add to get the perspective going. Let me think. I like the amount of breathing room I've given this. So perhaps this will be it, right? This might just be okay. This might just be what it is. But also just thinking, because I know it's still very muddied. Like, I know it's still a bit fucked, but it's okay. This is the part of the art process. It must be very odd to hear me just being very positive and normal and kind of dead. I'm not dead. I don't know. I'm vibing today. I'm just vibing. Let's see. We can do something like that, right? For the feet indications. Not bad. It only took 3 hours for this piece, so that's pretty good. Yeah, and I like how I added little, seems like, yeah, little spherical indents in his feet. I like doing that. That's indicating shadow that I find fun. I mean, I find all of it fun, but some more than others, just because I understand it maybe slightly better. But let's see, what else can really hone the perspective that the horizon line is here? Because like I'm trying to keep that in mind. I fucked it up at other times, but I don't know. If I put something here, it's just gonna take away from this nice little space that I've created. Right? I think it's okay. Yeah, I think this is okay as it is. No more to add. It was a nice experiment, and I think I learned a decent amount. Wait, what did I learn? What the fuck have I learned? Well, yeah, balancing. That's definitely one thing I think of starting to learn a bit more of. Right? So, yeah, I'll take it. It's what it is. It's fine. It's completely okay. Right? It's been an hour and 1 minute, so I think I've done quite decently for myself. And I hope you all had fun drawing along or doing whatever bullshit you're up to, probably touching yourself. But actually, wait. Should I add something here? Just doesn't seem right, this. Maybe if I just replicate it here. Right? Just a little. This is the thing that's the most in shadow. I can definitely replicate it here. Right, and here. Should do a bit more here. This might be that noodling thing, right, where I'm just like, I don't know what to do, blah blah blah, you know. Trying to follow the light and make it like a gradual decrease. Okay. And a bit more of a subtle decrease, because we're trying to follow the form still, right? Yeah, I think that works. What about here, though? See, I'm losing myself because like the lines aren't looking as clean. It's okay. We'll leave it. It's what it is, right? And I think it's fine. This doesn't really need any lines, right? This doesn't need any like darkening or anything like that. This is technically just wind pressure, so it should be fine. Right, probably made it worse, but whatever. No, whatever. But yes, I'm done. Like, subscribe, or fuck off, and keep me on in the background. I think that's my saying now, right? Yes, keep me muted, all that shit. But yeah, for those who actually, I guess, are fans or people enjoy listening to my content, watching my content, whatever, I hope you had fun. I hope you drew along, right? This was, I guess, more of a rendering episode rather than something where I was particularly really drawing from. Well, technically, I was also drawing from imagination here, of course. But this was just me trying to figure out how to make things look more balanced. I think I achieved it to a relative degree, right? But yeah, I think it's cool. I think for what it wasn't too bad. For 3 hours ish of work, it's pretty decent. I'm excited to come back to this probably a few weeks from now for my next bout of imagination drawing, right? And I'll keep Broken Draw released a really nice video on the process behind imagination drawing. It's like 53 minutes long, how he does it. And the biggest thing is like horizon line, right? Focus on the horizon line first, right? Create stories, like start putting the main things that you want in the forefront, start adding little stories to it, and then put shit in the background. And I didn't do that particularly because I already kind of fucked up those orders before I watched that video, but I think this, for what it is, this was pretty okay, right? So yeah, and with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Fuck you for watching. Okay, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money. Thank you.